Great. Hello, everyone. This is Sinhae Lee from GBIC. We are a global blockchain and crypto fund based in the United States and China and Korea. And today, I'm very excited to talk about NFT non-fungible token with Alex from Rarible. So, Alex, do you want to say hello to everyone first?
Hey everyone, glad to be here today on this SCB Summit. I'm always happy to talk about NFTs. That's an awesome invention.
By the way, you have a very amazing virtual background, and I feel regretted not putting any fancy pinky virtual background. But Alex, I'm very excited to have you as my speaker because we talked a few months back, and I think it's a perfect time for us to talk about NFT because NFT has gained a lot of attention for the last few months. And I think you're definitely leading that trend. So I'm super excited about the session today. So before jumping into the session, GBIC, we invest in Dapper Lab, which launched CryptoKitties and NBA Top Shop lately. So we have been watching this NFT market very much, and we believe that NFT can generate a lot of use cases. So just to give some background, what is NFT, right? So NFT is a type of a cryptographic token which represents something unique. So if I can put another way, non-fungible tokens are not mutually interchangeable by their individual specification, so that it can create verifiable digital scarcity. Now it can be used for digital art, digital collectibles, and in-game items, and etc. I will not say that these NFTs are new. The launch of the first NFT, like token, was in 2012 with the introduction of Color Coin. Along in CryptoKitties in 2017, we have more example of ERC 721 NFT that operates on the Ethereum network. So just wanna ask you, what do you think are driving the excitement around the NFTs these days?
That's an awesome question. I think everybody's thinking about like, why is this NFT a big thing now? Why did they came up recently? And I do believe that there are several answers to this. One of them is just, I believe it's a miracle. It's just an amazing standard that is so simple and that is so much closer to the user that it's driving a lot of attention. How often have you heard the phrase like, "Oh, blockchain is too hard. It's too difficult. I don't understand it." So NFTs they are literally and probably the best way to solve this gap. They are brain that simple. You have a digital item in your wallet, and it looks like an item. It's very familiar for you. It's a card, or it's a collectible, or it's anything with a name. It has a long description. You can read it if you don't understand what that is. You can look at it. Like, we are human beings. We want to possess things. We want to have them. They are like visually tangible items are much more closer to us psychologically than just numbers. So when we're talking about numbers, it's usually a little bit harder to count than just, so image, it works like this instantly in your mind. You have like, you have a special memory for them, and that's why if you can represent anything in an NFT. Like under hood, it's so simple that you can't really say what is it. It's just a number that belongs to a wallet and has a metadata attached to it. So it's like the item number 5 belongs to me, and it has the name, description, and image, and that's the basis of the of the protocol. Then you can extend it with additional information. You can say that this item also represents a key to some other protocol, or if you have it, that means you can make the certain transaction in DeFi game, or just anything. But this cover is what forces developers and users to think in a synchronized manner. I've been long supporter of the thought that the core value proposition of blockchain is that it allows you to better coordinate people. Like when you coordinate people on a specific task better, the world becomes more efficient. So NFT standard allows developers and users to coordinate on what is on chain, what is yours in a better fashion. So like wrap YCRV BTC pool into NFT and make it a picture, the name and description, and it will become much more, I don't know, understandable for the real user. That's why crypto art spiked, because yes, it's accessible to everyone. You know that this item is on blockchain and it's yours. So I think that's the main like philosophical reason behind NFT success. That they have a great core value proposition, and it's being more simple and more accessible to the user. You can represent anything as NFT, and it will just become a little bit better in terms of interface. And this is a result, I know, slowly building several years now. You have NFT support in every major wallet. And that fact alone allows you to access each user's pocket with your product. Uh, Blockchain is for coordination between projects. You can take NFT in one marketplace and put it in another, and you'll have it in your wallet. So it's just so digestible, this idea that you have it, it's yours. It doesn't belong to Rarible, it doesn't belong to any other project. It's yours, it's in your wallet. You can see it in every wallet, on desktop and mobile. It's just everywhere. And I think that's the main reason behind NFT success.
Yeah, I think you mentioned a really good point, because I think some experts think that having the right wallet for like individual users can be critical for the growth of NFT market. But as you mentioned, now Samsung Mobile blockchain wallet supports NFT. Even in Korea, Kakao is one of the most famous or popular chatting app, and it also has NFT and crypto wallets created inside the Kakao. So yes, I think I totally believe that it's gonna be growing. I think you already mentioned this, but I will just like empathize this question again. So I'm gonna ask you a question in a slightly different way. So do you really think that the digital asset can be both unique and valuable, right? So you mentioned that if you look at the art or something visually, it clicks better for people. But do you think those assets, NFT, has real value? I think eventually non-fungible tokens can open the door to potentially digitizing all intellectual property rights and tokenizing all assets. But do you think that they are going to be really valuable?
Well, of course they're valuable. That would be the most simple question today, I believe. So, non-fungibility, the uniqueness of a token, it doesn't have any connection to the value. So it can be valuable regardless of being unique or multiple. Um, if we go to the real world, I'd say that your house is non-fungible and your car is non-fungible. So it's just any item that cannot be like divided and counted. Although we can argue that there are a lot of cars of the same type, and that means that they are countable and they are better to be represented as the multiple token. But in the end, like NFT also can be of multiple editions. The uniqueness has the ultimate connection with liquidity. So it is true that it is much more hard to sell or buy something unique than it's liquid, because when it's liquid there is a lot of counterparties from which you can purchase that. And like, let's say 1,000 of people own something, and 100 of them is actively trading, and 100 of them wants to sell. So it's much more easy. The great analogy would be the car. You have a rare, unique, handmade car. It's really hard to sell. On the other hand, the car that is used by everyone is easy to sell and easy to buy. So this is the liquidity, and liquidity is quite a huge challenge in the NFT space. But we do see the how it's being solved in the real world. For example, I love this example of offices. So you have each office is non-fungible, and it's relatively illiquid in terms of when you want to rent it out or sell it or buy an office. But the big chains, marketplace chains or any other chains, they are buying the offices in cities in bulk. So they can buy like 100 items. So there are portfolios of illiquid items. So combined illiquid, or I don't know, like mortgages, the banks are reselling mortgages to each other, and each individual mortgage is illiquid. But if you combine them in a portfolio, you'll take like 10 less liquid, 10 with the different credit score, the portfolio of different mortgages, and then you can divide it and make it in a financial instrument, and it will become liquid. So that's one way of solving liquidity. But again, to get back to the original question, value does not have any connection to the uniqueness or multiple, but on the other hand, it has a connection with liquidity, and there are several ways to solve that. So yeah, I'll stop here.
No, you can go ahead. Or we can talk about the challenges later too, but I'm very interested to hear about the solutions. So do
I
you want
agree.
to, yeah.
Let's do later.
Okay, sounds good. Great. So I think I hope that we gave some context around the NFT and why it can be valuable, and also can grow, see the growth further. So let's talk about your project a little bit too. Can you please give us a quick intro of Reliable?
Oh yeah, so it's Rarible. Rarible is the issuance and marketplace platforms. So I want to keep it simple. So I'm co-founder and product lead there, by the way. So like a year ago, we've been so excited with the NFT space, and the space looked a little bit different before. How it looked like, it's just the developers were the people who were issuing tokens. So there you can create a game, and there will be NFT tokens inside. There is ENS domains with tokens inside. So there was a simple way to simple like way the people used to when operating with tokens. So all the tokens were issued by projects, not other people, and these projects were controlling the supply, demands, and and utility of this token. We thought like, okay, the NFT space is so awesome, but it's really small. So how do we expand it? To expand the space, you need to push on the new NFTs created. And that was the simple idea behind Wearable. So let's make a marketplace where everyone can create their own NFTs and just experiment on what will be the use cases that will drive adoption. We were expecting people to make, I don't know, like charity fundraisers or print tickets or create badges for their communities, like a lot of them. And right now we see a lot of this, but initially the crypto art segment spiked. Like 60% of traded items on Rarible are related to the crypto art, and that is the ultimate just an outcome of the ability to mint and the creative power that is fair on the internet right now during these pandemic times. Like creators have not many abilities, not many venues on the current internet where they can sell their monetize their creations. Like you can only sell print now, or I don't know, to have a blog, or like not many ways. And NFTs brought them this notion of digital scarcity. You can have only 5 edition of specific digital item, and there will be only 5 of them. And you can sell them, and the new owner will resell them. So I really like this. I read a tweet yesterday called saying that NFTs are is the retail derivatives, and that's I read it as like the ability to issue your own financial instruments to everyone. So like half of the crypto art is basically a derivative that gives you exposure to the author's, I don't know, popularity. If the popularity rises, your items will rise in price, and you will resell them later. So that's just a way to bet on the success of the specific person. And that's why it's so popular right now. Yeah, just to wrap it up, Rarible is an open platform. You don't need to sign up. You don't need to register. You can hop in, create a new NFT, upload an image, name, description, some fields, auction it off, or make a plain sale price, and just other than that, you're free to experiment, and that's what Rarible is for experiments.
Yeah, I read one really interesting article of one of the creator on your platform. There is an artist, and she basically earns her primary income from selling her own artistic NFTs since her restaurant job stopped in March due to COVID-19. So have you seen any very interesting cases so far, or what use cases or real example excite you the most?
Well, I'm mostly excited. So there are two major use cases for the NFT right now. The first one is liquid IP rights. So you can NFT represents a right to an image or to a video, to a song, to anything. It's huge untapped market. Just because like it's not efficient right now when you're writing a contract for a music with a label or whatever, it's done on paper. It isn't done in the liquid Wall Street manner. There is no like market making bots trading IP rights, so it's not efficient as it could be, and that's a huge potential for NFTs in which we are going. And another big sector is NFT that have on-chain liquidity, on-chain utility, I wanted to say. So like things like why insure NFTs, representing an insurance in terms of NFT. So you have a card in your wallet saying that you're covered for 10 ETH risks of some protocol that can be hacked, or the options, DeFi options as NFT that are again, it's a card saying that you have an ability to sell ETH at the specific price at the specific points in time. That's amazing use cases because it's completely trustless. So you don't need to know who the author is. You don't need to know who issued them. You can like check on chain that this NFT gives you specific rights in certain protocols, and that you will be exercised those rights. I believe that's a two completely different use cases for NFTs, and I'm equally excited about both of them.
Got it. And then to talk about the financial freedom, as you mentioned, we should talk about Rari as well. So can you explain what Rari is and how is Rari driving growth as a marketplace for NFTs?
Oh yeah. So I think a lot of people here are familiar with the concept of governance token. So Rari is a governance token of the Wearable platform. We picked this way of developing the platform to a DAO, to a more decentralized manner, just because we've been always community oriented. We've been always listening to community, like who we should verify, what items are not like are not for wearable and should be taken from the front end. And all of the decisions that we made are made with the listening of the community. And that's why this way of making that listening to community on chain is completely fits our vision. So we launched Rari with the liquidity mining program. Liquidity mining in terms of marketplace is that the liquidity of marketplace is the amount of buyers and sellers on the platform. So we are incentivizing liquidity by just rewarding people who are transacting on the marketplace, who are buying and selling. So we distribute the specific portion of tokens each week to the buyers and sellers of the marketplace. And that's why the active users of the platform receive a right to control the platform in the and make the decisions and how it will evolve. So that creates a great positive feedback loop because we are rewarding those who are helping the platform. That's an amazing invention of the whole blockchain in the latest time. So that's what we do.
Got it. Just to give some more context to our audience, liquidity mining or yield farming is the process of getting tokens in return for providing crypto assets to facilitating and growing the marketplaces. Right, so the yield farming has been really popular since this summer, starting with DeFi, decentralized finance, Compound, but now the game has migrated to other markets such as NFT. And as you mentioned, that people can get Rari by buying and selling NFTs on its platform, and people can actually swap these rewards tokens for money on platforms such as Uniswap. So there has been some challenges in this regard as well, because some people think that yield farming with non-fungible tokens on Rarible is another term for wash trading. And there was an article about it as well. So I want to ask you, what do you think about the comment?
Well, I'm glad you asked about that. So there has been a lot of noise about challenges of the liquidity mining program of Wearable, and I wanted to cover that. So the wash trading is when the person is trying to buy from himself or from his friend or from an affiliate person without making an intent to buy something, but just to receive the reward for the transaction. And that's a really challenging task for us to solve, just because once we solve it, we can go and expand this marketplace liquidity mining to every other use case, like Uber is the marketplace, Airbnb is the marketplace. So this idea of liquidity bootstrapping the general marketplace is really challenging because like in DeFi, when DeFi incentivizes liquidity provisions, so like Compound incentivizes borrowers and lenders. You can lend and borrow from, you can lend to one pool and borrow from another pool. And that would be something resembling what happens with wash trading, just because you're kind of borrowing from yourself. But when we are talking about DeFi, you're borrowing from, you're lending to everyone and borrowing from everyone because it's pooled. And that's why this isn't direct from yourself, it's to everybody and from everybody. That's why you're still helping the community while you're doing that. While on the general marketplace, when you choose who you're buying from, you can buy from yourself and to not contribute to the development of the platform this way. So this is a challenging task, but I would definitely say that it's not like really bad, because what it really makes a little bit worse is the distribution, the initial distribution. So the person who doesn't want to contribute to the platform will probably go and sell the reward instantly, and this way it creates a little bit more of like inefficiency in the initial distribution. So we are solving this with the specific roadmap, and ultimately we will change the distribution. So it's been working great so far. We've accumulated a lot of liquidity from the market, and as we see, the inefficiency level is decreasing over time, but we'll still moving to another distribution model in a couple months. Keep tuned to that. That won't have the same problem anymore, so it will be solved.
Got it. Thanks for the answer. And before this question, you mentioned that you had planned to transition to a fully decentralized system, and mentioned DAO, decentralized autonomous organization, and you want DAO controlling all of its token. So can you mention what are some of the benefits of transitioning to DAO? And this can be a tricky question because out of 25 million Rari tokens created, I know roughly 30% are reserved for your team. So what are you gonna do with the team tokens? 30% of the total issued Rari.
That's a great question, and I do believe I have a great answer to it. So initially, when we launched the platform, it was not limiting anyone to experiment, and that's why we've seen this explosion of use cases, of NFT use cases. And I do believe the same thing happens when you create a DAO. So we as a team do not want to be a limiting factor of stopping people to experiment with NFTs, not only on the use case level, but on the protocol level as well. Like the rate of new proposals created and experimentation proposed by the community is so fast. The team can't possibly pick up this space. So I think this is just the greatest invention of the whole blockchain world. You created the community, you created the DAO, and you allowed anyone to do anything to help the platform, and the life, I don't know, just self-organizing there. And it's I don't know, it's a beautiful just feeling how people are creating proposals, voting, implementing, and the speed of the experiments is just amazing.
Got it.
That's why we picked DAO.
Okay, great. We have only 2 minutes left, so I want to finalizing our session with one question. So we talk about NFT, we talk about Rari, and I think that both you and I are very optimistic about the NFT industry. So what are some images that you feel like, oh wow, I'm very satisfied with how the NFT market has been growing in 5 years, and what are some resources we need to achieve that goal?
Well, I'll try to be quick on that. I'm a big believer in multi-chain or any other scalability solutions. The same way, like 5G is going to bring us a lot of just the next cycle of technology in terms of the internet speed and latency, and unleash the whole new set of use cases. The same will happen with NFTs once we adopt the scalability solutions. Once we will be able to mint 1,000 items in a single transaction for free, or for much more smaller amount of money, that will bring the whole market to a new level. That's one thing. And the other thing that I wanted to point out, in the liquid IP rights market, the very important thing is on-chain identity. It's just because we need to be sure that this specific person is the creator of the IP rights that they're selling on-chain. And this is really tricky. The only way this been solved so far is by the in direct verification of the identity by the platform, and that is not scalable way. We're trying to be more open in that sense, and this open identity on chain will again unleash a lot of new users to come to this IP rights market.
Great. So it has been my great honor to host you, Alex, as a speaker, and thanks so much for sharing your insights. And also thank you, SCB, for hosting the events. Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Thanks, everyone.